From the national newsroom of the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo. An aviation expert says Canada is losing more air traffic controllers to retirement than it is hiring, despite efforts to ramp up recruitment. As we hear from Canadian Press reporter Lisa Laporte, NAV Canada says it has licensed more than 300 air traffic controllers since 2023.
McGill University's John Graddick says Canada is retiring about 150 air traffic controllers every year, with a shortage right now of about 1,500 controllers. He says only about 10% of applicants make it all the way through the rigorous training program to become full-fledged controllers, a job that can pay up to $200,000 a year.
Air traffic controllers have been thrust into the spotlight following Sunday night's fatal runway crash of an Air Canada flight and a fire truck at New York's LaGuardia Airport. The two pilots were killed, and dozens of passengers and two firefighters were injured. Part of the probe by American and Canadian investigators will be the series of events leading up to the disaster and the shift staffing levels of the airport control tower. The head of the union representing 55,000 Canada Post workers is calling for employees to reject a tentative contract agreement in a vote this spring. The request by the president of the Canadian Union of Postal Workers, Jan Simpson, comes even though 60% of the National Executive Board recommends the deal be accepted. Simpson and four other leaders issued a minority report arguing the deal abandons most of what the union membership wanted to see in a contract. Voting will take place from April 20th to the end of May. One housing developer is hoping a unique incentive can help lure home buyers off the sidelines as hesitation continues to linger across most major markets in this country.
The campaign, being held by Mattamy Homes, would see the company cover mortgage payments for up to a year on some new builds located near Calgary and Edmonton. It's offering to cover up to $50,000 worth in annual mortgage costs. Economist Mike Moffat says it's a new spin on incentives offered by home builders, which are common in housing slowdowns. Other developers, like London, Ontario's Foxwood Homes, are offering to cover up to 1 year of buyers' property taxes, utility bills, and other related costs. Michelle Zedekian, The Canadian Press.
And Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, says it plans to appeal a first-of-its-kind civil jury verdict yesterday in New Mexico. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay.
In a landmark verdict, a jury in New Mexico has found Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram, liable for endangering children and misleading users about the safety of its platforms. New Mexico accused Meta of failing to protect minors from abuse. Prosecutors were seeking $2 billion in damages, but the jury ordered the company to pay just $375 million.
This is the Canadian Press. In sports, it was a busy night in the NHL last night. Mark Scheifele notched a goal and a helper and added a rare fighting major to lead the Winnipeg Jets to a 4-1 win over Vegas. The Calgary Flames eked out a 3-2 victory over the LA Kings in a shootout. Connor McDavid and Jack Roslovic scored twice, including McDavid's 401st of his career, as the Edmonton Oilers knocked off the Utah Mammoth 5-2. Montreal beat Carolina 5-2. John Tavares added 3 assists as a Toronto Maple Leafs doubled Boston 4-2. And Carter Yakimchuk scored a goal and got a helper in his NHL debut as the injury-riddled Ottawa Senators edged Detroit 3-2. And in NFL news, quarterback Joe Flacco has agreed to return to the Cincinnati Bengals, where he'll serve as a backup for Joe Burrow. The 41-year-old Flacco was dealt to the Bengals in October and made 6 starts for Cincinnati while Burrow was out with a toe injury. From the Canadian Press, I'm Karen Rebo.